The law of attraction, the idea that like attracts like. I'm no expert on it. I started reading The Secret last year and I put it down after just a handful of pages. It paints a shiny, happy world where if you focus on your positive energy and your thoughts on something, you'll be able to manifest that something. And, you know, that sounds wonderful, but the thing that made me put it down was just how selfish it all sounded. It's all about positive gain, manifesting your desires, you know, gaining what you want. It's very me, mine, more, mine, more, mine. And the whole idea of the laws of attraction has been, you know, blurred and merged into spirituality and consciousness. And the two topics seem to be always tangled up together, most places where I've looked. And to me, that seems like a complete oxymoron. I mean, if you're pursuing wealth, love, fame, success via the laws of attraction, then it just seems to me that you are not on a spiritual pursuit of understanding or of enlightenment or whatever. It's adding more of the me, mine, more, me, mine, which just defines you even more as a separate, distinct entity, and it puts you more in the box. And it keeps you looking outside yourself, outside the box, for something other than just something other that will make you feel happy or satisfied. But spirituality, on the other hand, it blurs the lines of you as a separate entity because it looks for understanding of the underlying connections between everyone on a fundamental level, not on the level of experience or ideology or beliefs, haves or have-nots, or any of the other minor details that make up the illusion, the dream sequence, or whatever you want to call it, the play within a play within a play that is life. But the book, The Secret, seems to reinforce that illusion, and it's certainly been interpreted to be some deep cosmic understanding of the spiritual interconnectedness of everything, the oneness of everything. And it's a bit like looking at the cake and getting all enamored with the icing on the cake and forgetting that the whole point of the icing is the cake that lies forgotten underneath. That, to me, is my analogy of the laws of attraction. I mean, there are plenty of books and theories on quantum physics that back up the laws of attraction and the physical interconnectedness of everything. Like when we're born, we don't get a manual of how everything works, our bodies, our energies. You know, quantum mechanics is, you know, one of those things that's slowly chipping away at all that. And of course, The Secret is capitalizing on those kind of ideas too. But I feel that it appeals to people's greeds, the big I want, the big humongous yet intangible emptiness that people try to fill throughout their daily lives. They fill it with things, experience, music, poetry. It's that unquenchable thirst that every man or woman must struggle with. Yet it seems that the more that the focus is outwards on some fixed far-off point in the never land of the future, the bigger that struggle is, the bigger it becomes. So overall, the merging of the laws of attraction as a theory and a practice and spirituality is complete nonsense to me. One focuses on the self, the other focuses on no self. And trying to merge the two together is just trying to avoid looking at the selfishness behind the idea of the laws of attraction. It is selfish. I mean, we live on an earth with a finite amount of resources. That's just a simple fact. And if you're a person who has, then there's going to be someone else who has not. I don't know if that's necessarily a good or a bad thing. It just simply is that way. But the whole nature of being human is selfish. There is the ego, and the ego is an illusion, a bubble that you've created in order to exist alongside other bubbles. The ego is self, so it is selfish. It is separateness. It creates all these labels and definitions and applies them to every single thing it comes up against. Other bubbles, ideologies created by other bubbles, the wider community of bubbles which, you know, individually and together create bubbles that incorporate various identities or political persuasion, race, nationality, sexuality, truthers, no-planers, Christians, men, women, elderly. You know, it's like life is a humongous collection of conceptual Venn diagrams. They're just bubbles. They're based entirely on perspective and a set of experiences that you've had, or what situation you're in. But it's only a singular perspective. It's not the entirety of how things are. But the ego also applies personal labels to other ego bubbles, and including their own. Things like patience, or I am knowledgeable, or selfish, or happy, or positive, or I'm negative, or I'm optimistic, I'm intelligent, I'm a problem solver, I'm a thinker, I'm introverted, what else? It all just reinforces your perception of your bubble and makes it seem real, makes it seem like a well-defined and fixed entity. It's got a description, a definition, a boundary, hence it must be real. And it does it to other bubbles as well. All of it is nonsense. It is the propaganda of bubbles. Humanity's propaganda. It's a creation of illusion, of a lie, so that everyone is taken in by that lie, including all the little bubbles that are hard at work creating it, fooling themselves. So the whole idea of like attracting like, well, regardless of how you perceive your bubble to be and what you think you are, you incorporate every possibility, every potential, both positive and negative. You can be patient and you can be impatient. You can be calm and you can be angry. You can be peaceful, you can be warlike, and it doesn't matter what name you give to yourself. You incorporate both aspects and the potential for both aspects of both extremes, both polarities. And life is like that. It's a bit like, the Taoist way of looking at it with yin yang, that one thing gives the opposite its meaning. So I find the laws of attraction a very simplistic way of looking at things. Really simplistic. And it's made to look simplistic and simple because it suits the person who wrote the book, The Secret, to make it look simple, like it's something you can just do and then it works. And it doesn't always work that way. And you could attract things to yourself that you don't want. If you show me a person who is habitually someone who gives all the time, then I will probably show you someone in their company who takes all the time. So, positive attracts negative as well, if you look at it that way. On the other hand, I am of the opinion that we do create our realities, but I feel that it's down to a lot of choice, but it's not straightforward, black and white, do this, you get that. The laws of attraction and how it's being sold to people just misses the point. It misses the greater meaning in everything. And I don't live my life that way. But at the same time, I find that life provides me with what I need all the time. And I have thought to myself, what's the next step? Right, this is what I visualize happening. And it has happened with like clockwork within weeks. And things that are completely bizarre, unique and unusual, things that you wouldn't, not ordinary things that other people would probably have to work their whole damn lives to get that opportunity, I've had just land on my lap because I thought about it and said, that's what I can see happening next for me. So, it's kind of like resigning yourself. This is the next step. So this is what is going to happen, and then it happens. And I can't give you a manual on how that works, but it isn't as simplistic as positive thinking and, going, I'm going to get this, 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 I'm going to get this. It's not. It's more about resigning or giving in to what the next step is. And it's hard to explain. I've spent my entire life entire life since I was a teenager, doing what I call following string. I call it following string because to me it's when you pick up on the little coincidences in life, the little synchronicities, the things that stick in your head for some reason and you can't really put your finger on why.